Yeah. So here, what we can do is we can go to the REST message. Okay. I think which is the one which we have actually created yesterday. I think this is the one. This is not the one, right? We modified it, right? Yeah. This is the one, right? So here, right? If you scroll little down, am I recording? Okay. So if you scroll little down here, we have created a REST message. Inside the REST message, we have provided the endpoint, and then we have provided the authentication as well. Then we have created HTTP method. We have by default get method created, and then we created create, we created update, we created delete. Okay. Here, if you open this one, this is actually HTTP method, right? Inside the HTTP method, if you go to this HTTP request here we have actually provided keys here, like caller, SD, description, and CT. Okay. So here, right, if you want to test it better, what you can do is you can actually use this variable substitutions. You can create a new variable substitution, or you can actually click on auto generate variables. So whatever you have provided here, right, caller, SD, description, CT, these variables will be automatically created here in the variable substitutions. Okay, I can just click on auto generate variables. So once I click on this auto generate variables, you can see those 4 keys, those 4 are actually generated here. Here you can provide the values, caller value. Here you can provide the contact type, description. So here I'm actually providing the values. Contact type as email. Okay. Here I'm actually providing the description as test 67. Here I'm actually providing the short description as test 67 SD. So here you can actually pass any color CSID. Okay. So let me just go to the users. So I'm just taking junior NTR CSID. Okay. So here what we can do is we can go to the HTTP method. Inside the HTTP method, you can go to the variable substitutions. Here you can actually provide these details. So then once you have provided variable substitutions here, you can just click on test. Once you click on the test here, so whether it is actually creating the records with these details or not, we can actually check those. Did you guys understand what is the variable substitutions purpose? Everyone?
Sir, it is only for the testing only, right? We are not going to use it in the real implementation.
Yes, variable substitutions, we are not going to use it in the regular integration. We are just
Okay.
using variable substitutions for testing purpose. I think you have actually asked this question yesterday, I believe.
No, sir. Somebody else.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So these variables will get automatically generated in the variable substitutions once you click on auto generate variables. Okay. So after generating those automatically, here you have to provide the values and you can click on test. If the system is able to reach the external system or not, we can actually check it in the test. Okay. If you want to create, let us say you have actually added a new variable substitution here. Okay. Here, let us say category. So this variable, this key we have actually created. So if you want to generate the automatically variable substitution, we can actually generate automatically. So if you want to create it manually, we can create it manually. Okay. You can just click on test now. So now the payload will contain these 5 values and it will create a record. Okay. So this is how you will actually do the testing. Okay. So I think somebody has actually asked the question, where do we check the logs? Where do we check the logs? In the HTTP method, what we can do is we can actually see here HTTP set HTTP log level. You can just click on this one. So once you click on this one, you have actually 3 types of log levels available. 3 types of log levels are available. One is basic, elevated, all. So it is actually step by step. Basic means you will get minimal logs, a bit more. So lot of logs, more detail. So here I am actually selecting all here. Okay. So you have actually set the HTTP log level. Then fine. After providing the log level, you can just click on test here. Once you click on the test here, okay. So what you can do is you can go to the application navigator. So you can just type HTTP outbound. So outbound HTTP logs. Here you can just click on this one. So this is the one which you have actually, which we have actually, this is log level, right? Log level we have selected all, right? This is not the one. Outbound HTTP requests. So just now we have actually made some transition, right? I think this is the one. This is the URL host. See here, what time, what is the URL, response status, response time, log level all, source. Okay. Here you have actually request. What are all the headers? Here you have actually response. Okay. So here we have actually got a lot of details here in the HTTP log. So this is how you will actually check the logs. This is how you will actually check the logs. Usually in the, when you click on the test also here in the HTTP method, usually in the HTTP method, when you click on that test as well, you will actually get the status 200 or 204. You will actually get minimal logs, whether it is successful or not. But if you want to get more details, then you have to set the logs. How do you set the logs? Here you can scroll little down here and just click on set HTTP log level. You will select all or basic or elevated. Then once you set that log level, then here in the application navigator, you have to navigate to outbound HTTP requests. Okay, fine, right? Okay, now I am actually going to the REST message here. In the REST message, here you have actually preview script usage. This one I have already explained, but still I want to explain one more time. So what is this preview script usage? So if you just click on this preview script usage, right? Here you can actually get the script here. this, whatever the logic that we have written in the business rule, without writing the script. Without writing the script manually, ServiceNow is actually automatically giving the line of script. You can just take this out. Copy paste. We have used it in the business rule, right? We can actually keep it in business rule. So if you want me to go to the business rule, I can go to the business rule. So I'm going to use shortcut here, config. Config will actually take you to the directly configurations related to the table. So business rules, right? Create. Okay. So here, right, whatever the script that you have written, right, in place of this one, right, in place of this one, we can directly use this one. Okay. You can actually remove this one. Similar script we have written, right? But we have made this dynamic. We have made this dynamic. So I have used set string parameter, but here I have used no escape. What is the difference between set string parameter and set string parameter no escape? No escape means special characters. Let us say if you are actually providing some star or any these things will not be accepted if you use no escape. Okay. Okay. So here we can trigger the REST messages not only from the business room. You can trigger the REST messages from the UI actions, from the script include, from the script actions, from the scheduled jobs. You can actually trigger the REST messages from the different server-side scripts. I have actually triggered this REST message from the business rule. Okay. We can trigger this REST message from any server-side scripting. UI action also will work in the server side, right? Business rules, script includes, scheduled jobs, okay, workflows. In all the server-side script, you can actually trigger this REST message. Okay. So here, this preview script usage purpose, you guys are able to understand or not? Everyone. I would like to hear from everyone.
Yes, sir. Sir, you guys heard that term payload? Payload. What is payload here, sir? You also mentioned something payload.
So payload is actually something this one.
Okay. Okay, that is payload. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So here, only thing that we have to understand here is actually these two things, mid server and HTTP headers. What is this mid server? Suppose if you want to use web services, if the external system that you want to connect, okay, if the external system that you want to connect is actually behind the firewall, you are not able to reach it directly, then what you will do is you will actually connect it through the mid server. Okay, I will also explain you how to create the mid server, but I am actually telling you the purpose of mid server. So if the external system is behind the firewall, we are not able to reach directly, then what we will do is, I will actually first my system will my system will direct my system will actually first reach out this mid server. So I will actually explain that. There is a process here. So here, if you take a look at the whiteboard, if I take new whiteboard here, ServiceNow. Some ABC tool. ServiceNow is not able to reach ABC tool directly because this is actually behind the firewall. Then that is where mid server concept will come into picture. Okay. This is actually a mid server. Okay. This ServiceNow will actually first connect with this mid server. This will actually send this request to this one. This will send the request to mid server. Mid server will actually give the response to ServiceNow. Okay. So let me just I'm not good at drawing, guys. Okay. Okay. So first you will make a request to mid server from ServiceNow. It will actually reach out ABC tool. Okay. In turn, what ABC tool does, it will again send the response. Okay. And again, it will actually send the response back to ServiceNow. Okay. So here, right, one more logic that you guys have to remember. There is a process that ServiceNow can connect to mid server. Here, the ServiceNow will not directly connect to mid server. Again, there is a layer here. Okay, there is again a layer here. What is that? Let me just erase these things. Where is the eraser? Okay, here another thing will come into picture. That is actually ECC queue. What is ECC? External communication channel. External communication channel. Okay. So from ServiceNow, you will make a call to the external communication channel. From the external communication channel, it will go to mid server. Through the mid server, it will go to external system. From the external system, it will receive that. Through the ICC queue, you will actually get the response in the ServiceNow system. That is actually the process. Okay. So if you want to send any request to the external system which is behind the firewall, you will make a request. The request will actually go to the mid server via ECC queue. Okay. So this mid server will actually receive the request. It will actually pass it to external system. And in turn, it will receive the response. From this response, again, it will actually send it to the ECC queue. Through the ECC queue, you will actually get it here in the ServiceNow system. Okay. So that is actually the process. So here, if you go to the ServiceNow system, here you have actually, you can type ECC here. I think ECC queue is not there. I have to install the mid server. Once I install the mid server, then only I can see ECC queue. External communication channel. Okay. So once you create a record, right, what happens is that it will actually create a entry in the ECC queue. Through the ECC queue, the request will go to the mid server. That is actually the process. I'll show you that. Okay. So we understand about this mid server. What is the purpose of mid server in the REST message? Here we have actually HTTP headers. So in which format you want to send the request? So HTTP headers. You can actually see the HTTP headers in the Google. HTTP headers. These all are HTTP headers. See here, HTTP header methods followed by colon. So HTTP headers are something that if you want to send the request in JSON format or XML format or text format, you can actually define HTTP headers. I think content type, right? So what you can do is you can take this content type here. Okay. You can go to the REST message. You can define HTTP header content type. Here you can just provide So text HTML. Or you can actually provide application JSON, something like that you can provide. Okay. We do one thing. We will use text HTML. We will actually get the difference. So I have to save this one. Here if I click on just test here, here you guys can see the response that you have got is actually in HTML format. Earlier it was in JSON format. Today, as I have changed the content type as HTML, text HTML, it is actually showing in HTML or not. This is actually a HTML, right? Did you guys get what I mean?
Sir, yes, sir.
If I remove that header, right, you will actually get that response as JSON. Okay. So if you want to get the response in XML format, so what you can do is you can go to the REST message. Application XML. I have to save this one. Okay. Just click on test here. So now the response that you should receive should be in the XML format. So this time also it is actually giving HTML only. I think we have given the wrong value. We have given the wrong value. If we have given the right value, right, here, it would have given the response in the XML format. So we'll just give text XML. Maybe I know how to use this headers, HTTP headers, but I don't have very much knowledge on HTTP headers. What headers are there? Here I know how to use this one, but how many headers are there? I have to get expertise on that area. Okay. Just click on text here, test here. Still it is giving in the HTML format, right? So here what you need to understand is I can go to the REST Explorer, REST API Explorer. From here I can actually get the headers. If you just click on post here, Still not loaded, I believe. Here you can see request headers, application JSON. If you use application XML, you will actually get the response. You will actually get the response as XML. Now I have chosen application XML, right? If I go here and click on send here, okay. So it has created a record. Have you got the response in the XML format or not? This is an XML format, right? Similar way, if you want to get the response in the, if you want to get the response as XML, what you guys have to do? So you guys have to provide this content as application JSON. Okay. I should not provide content type as application. I should provide accept as application XML. Here I have to use this header, accept as application XML. Here I go here, I'll create a new header. Here it should be application slash. Here I am actually sending the response as JSON, right? Okay. Here it should be accept. Which header it should accept? Application XML. Okay. So now here you go here. Now you should receive the response as XML format. Okay. I'm just clicking on this test here. Here, if I scroll little down, still I'm actually getting it in a HTML format. Are we missing anything?
Sir, can you do copy paste, sir, instead of writing that application slash XML?
I have copy pasted. Response we have got it in the this is the response body. Same thing, no change, right? Accept content type application JSON, accept Okay, here we can check. Maybe in the logs we can check. Accept application XML. The response we have got it in HTML. We have got it in HTML only. Some point we are actually missing, guys. I'll actually identify that and let you know. Okay. So headers are actually something that if you want to send the content in which format, that you can actually define in the header. So here in the REST API Explorer, right here you can see headers, content type application JSON, accept application XML. So those are actually headers. Those you will actually define in the REST message somewhere here. HTTP headers. Okay. Okay. So as I have already told you, this REST message can be triggered from all the server side scripts like UI action, business rules, and script includes script actions and scheduled jobs. So a lot of other things. Okay. So here, right, what I want to do is, let me just show you. Let me just go to incident form here. Incident.list. So I have to create a button here on the incident form. So that is actually sync incident. The UI action name is actually sync incident. So the UI action I am going to create here. Okay. Form button, primary, should on update. Okay. So whatever is there in the business rule. Okay. Same I am going to copy paste. I am going to inactivate the business rule here. Okay. Without modifying anything, I kept here. So I can keep the condition here. For one incident, you can sync only one time, right? So current dot u underscore incident equal to empty. Okay. So here, if I open any incident record, which is existing record, okay. I am just providing all this. Where is sync incident? Hmm? Where is sync incident? I think there is an incident number, I believe. Okay, we should not provide incident in the UI action. We should actually provide correlation ID. Correlation ID is equal to empty.
U underscore correlation study, right?
U underscore. Huh? Okay. Fine. Now, if I save this one, you guys will be able to see the UI action here. Sync incident. Okay. So once I click on the sync incident, right, it has to create record on external system. Those details should be populated here. I'm just clicking on sync incident. Okay. So I'm just opening the sync incident here. This is the one which we have actually clicked on.
Yes,
This is the one, right?
yes, yes.
But it is not able to populate these values. Why is it not able to populate these values? We have to understand. Okay. Here we have to go to the UI action. Here. Everything looks good. Everything looks good here. Hmm? Action dot set redirect URL. So now we will understand what is the response that we are actually getting. Guys, please go on mute. Sync incident. I think we have passed extra key there. Did you guys notice that? Here we have actually passed extra thing here. So let me just remove this one. I'm just refreshing this one. Mhm. You see, action that redirect URL also not working. Huh? That will work. So I'm just clicking on this one. So this correlation ID, correlation display are not appearing, not actually getting populated. Hmm. Action.set redirect URL current also we are using here. Are these things affecting anything? This action.set redirect URL also not working. Where are we missing? So we will do one thing. We will actually activate business tool and check whether from the business tool it is working fine or not. So then if it is working from the business tool, there is no issue with script. If it is not working from the business tool, there is an issue with the script. So now I am going to activate this one and save this one. Business tool. Once record is created, I have to create a record here. Creating record here. I'm just saving this one. Not working. I think there is an issue with the script. So we will have to understand what is the response that we are actually getting. So now what I do, I'll go to the business tool. In the business tool, I will actually understand what is the status code that we are receiving. Okay. Response start. Get. Status code. So based on status code, okay, we can identify which error we are actually getting. Is this after business tool or racing business tool? After, fine. I am going to create a new record here. There is no response at all. Why is that? I think somewhere in the script The REST message itself is not getting triggered, I believe. So we'll have to check one by one, line by line logs.
Sir, maybe in the REST message you kept some substitute values, right? Does that cause this issue?
This will not actually impact. This will not actually impact the REST message.
Okay then.
Inherit from parent. From here, we are able to reach the system, right? We are getting 200 response. It is still loading, huh? Okay, it is active. If this instance is active, we can actually clearly understand. If it is actually on sleeping mode. Yesterday it did work. We did not make any change. I think maybe this instance is sleeping. Maybe that could be the reason. The instance is back. We'll just give a test one more time. If it is working fine, then fine. If it is not working fine, what impacted us, we'll have to explore. See, here in the UI action, we have to use the same logic. You have to trigger the REST message. You have to get the response. That response, you have to keep it in correlation ID, correlation display fields, and you have to update the current record. That is what we are doing here. Okay.
Is it somewhere related to access? Because when you are running from the here, so
I don't think it is actually related to access. We have actually provided sufficient roles yesterday, right?
Yes. No, but when you click on the action, so actually your user is triggering that action, right? So
yeah, this guy has actually permission to this action, right? This guy has actually permission, right?
yes.
So this guy should have permission to trigger the integration. I think maybe this instance is actually in sleeping mode, I believe. This page is actually loading since morning. If it is actually up and running, we can actually wake the instance up. So now it is actually back. Instance is actually in hibernation mode. We have to wake it up. After waking up, we'll actually give a try whether it is reachable or not. It will take some more time. So it will take definitely 5 to 6 minutes. So why am I talking slowly? You guys can guess. Since morning I have been talking. Since morning I have been talking. That is why. Yeah, instance is up and running. Okay, now we'll just give a try. Yes, this time it did work. This is because the other instance is actually not available. The other instance is actually sleeping. That is the reason it did not actually populate those details here. Hope you guys got it right. So how we trigger the REST message from the UI action, you guys are able to understand, right? So you can actually trigger the REST messages in all the server-side scripting, such as business rules, UI actions. Script includes workflows, scheduled jobs, flow designers. There are multiple ways. So you can actually trigger the REST messages from the flow designer in a different way. In the flow designer, you don't use script. You can also trigger the REST message from the flow designer as well, but you don't use script there. Okay, so I'll also explain the flow designer part as well. How do we connect with the external system using flow designer as well? Okay, so hope you understand. Hope you understand this. How to check the logs. How to check the logs. And we will check here in the HTTP outbound HTTP logs as well. Which response are we actually getting? Now we will actually get the response in JSON format, as we did not keep the header. We will tomorrow test again, as the instance is up and running, right? To allow tomorrow we will wake up the instance and we'll give a test. And what is the response we are receiving, we'll actually have a test there. So today we understand variable substitutions. What are variable substitutions? Automatically generating the variable substitutions, how to check the logs, how to set up the HTTP log level, how to check the logs, and also we have learnt about mid server usage, and also we have learnt something related to HTTP headers as well as you also understand that you can actually trigger the REST messages from different server side scripting. Today we understand how do we trigger the REST message from the UI actions. This is what we have actually learned in today's session. Right, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll be connecting tomorrow and we'll be discussing rest of the things in tomorrow's session. Yeah.